Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let Me Just Say This. I'm so happy to be back on the mic with you guys. If you are watching, hello, hey, welcome to the living room yet again. We're back at it again, and today's topic is something that I've been thinking about so much lately because while I recognize I'm still young, these eggs are getting older and older as each day passes, and I ain't had no children yet. And the thing is, and this is going to sound like so contradictory to who I am, but I've been thinking a lot about just being the fine rich auntie. Like, I'm going to have my man, but maybe not have the children. And I know that sounds so crazy after everything that I've said, but I'm going to explain. So let's just go ahead and get right on into it. Okay, so I know this sounds super crazy coming from me because I'm always talking about how I want a family. I'm very family oriented. I'm a natural nurturer. And I want kids still, don't get me wrong. I want a big family still. However, the way this timeline is setting up, I don't want to be pregnant every 2 years. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to have a geriatric pregnancy. But the thing is, I recently decided that maybe I should wait until I'm like 30 plus. Like, unless I get married before 30, which I'm not counting that out. That's still a possibility. But unless I do, I don't plan on having children in my 20s. I just feel like there's so much still that I have to do. There's so much that I want to do. I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy being able to come and go as I please. It's enough trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my cat. Speaking of, if you're watching the video, he just makes his own appearances whenever he wants to. But it's hard enough trying to figure out who's going to cat sit for me, let alone figuring out who can babysit my 11,000 kids that I want to have. So I can go do fun things occasionally. And another thing, I'm just like, having children in your 20s looks ghetto. It looks ghetto. From the outside looking in, it's looking ghetto over there. I don't want to live that lifestyle. You know, I want to be free, and I'm so selfish, and I value my freedom. I value my independence. And the more I was thinking about it, the more I was like, damn. I'm so happy I had a Negro's kids when I wanted to. Like, I am so happy I don't have children. And maybe it's better off to wait. Like, maybe it's just better to wait. And honestly, I heard that things get better after 30. Life is supposed to be good at 30. You're supposed to be established. You're supposed to have, your career path going good. And I know none of that actually happens in reality, but you're supposed to be in a better place in your 30s. And I think a lot of women now, I think the statistic is like over 40% of women are waiting until after 30 to have children, if not have them at all. And I can understand why. So I feel like from the wanting to be free and wanting to just spread my wings and go and come as I please, from that aspect, being the fine rich auntie sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. I like the fact that I don't have to be around the children for that long. You know what I'm saying? I can give them back. They have an owner. You know what I'm saying? You take it, play with it a little bit, have them around, take some cute pictures. They're cute. If they're really little, like my nephews are only, 6 months old, they just lay there. I mean, they're starting to do things. But before that point, all they did was lay there and look at you. Can't really see you because you're too far away. You know what I'm saying? But still, the point is, they don't do much. They're cute, have them for a little cameo, little photo op, have them for a little bit, dose of dopamine, and then you give them back. The idea that I got to keep them forever, I can't even figure out what I'm eating for dinner. How am I supposed to feed a little person? Mind you, Baller Boo said that to me and it really hurt my feelings. And I think it hurt my feelings because I know that it's low-key true. Like, I can barely get 3 meals a day myself. How am I going to feed a person? I know that's like completely different, but still, the point is, it's so much responsibility. It's a lot. And I like the fact that I can give them back. Being an auntie is nice because I can have them. And I feel like aunties oftentimes are second mothers. I feel like my auntie's a second mother. So I would like to play in that capacity for as long as I can until maybe, I get married or I meet a guy that I want to build a family with. And even still, if I decide I don't think I want to wait until I find a man. I still plan on having my kids. And that's actually what we're going to get into next. Now listen, I don't ever believe in waiting to do the things that you want to do. And that includes having a family. If you are a person who wants to have kids, you don't necessarily have to have them with a partner. You don't have to have them in wedlock. These are things that, in my opinion, are ideal situations. But a lot of people do it on their own. And I feel like if you're established and you have, a good community and tribe around you to help you raise your child, and if you have built up a lifestyle that accommodates a child or children, then you will be fine doing it on your own. I was just telling my homegirls yesterday how I'm okay with, if I don't find my forever man or my husband in time for me to want to have these kids, if I'm getting ready to age out of babies, you know what I'm saying? I'm okay with finding like a co-parent. I'm okay with having a parent pact. Like if I hit 35, I don't have no man yet, and I want these kids, which one of my friends or which man wants kids, can be a good father, but doesn't have a partner and just would like someone who can co-parent with them on some real Nick Cannon shit. Like, we ain't gotta be together. We don't have to be together. But you want a child, I want a child. We're both gonna pour in and love this child. The child is going to be raised in, two households that love them and take care of them. Why not? Why not? How many women just wait forever to have their kids? And they're like, okay, well, after my career or after I find someone to have my children with, and it never comes. I'm not doing that because I know, like I said, in my heart of hearts, I want at least 2 kids. So these kids are going to come with or without a man, but that's not to say I'm just going to go to sperm banking or ask one of my homeboys to shoot it up for me. No, I am going to actually vet someone who wants to be a father. Do you want to be a daddy? Yes or no? Actually, funny segue, but or digression, but we were in downtown Atlanta. Let me just say something. Okay, them homeless people in downtown Atlanta are unhinged. This man looking a mess gonna come up to me. He said, "Let me ask you something. Can I be your baby daddy?" I said, "Whoa, Nick, no. I'm looking for my baby daddy, but not you, not a homeless person, not a person that has no business having children. You have no business having kids. None. No, I will have my children with someone who wants them, okay? And somebody who is actually in a position to have kids." So yeah, that actually brings me to such a good point. No accidents. No fucking accidents. No. My mama got 5 kids. Every last one of them was an accident. I know a lot of people, every last one of their kids was an accident. They may have brought their children into the world with love, but they weren't planned. One thing about me and this IUD, it's a heavy hitter. It don't miss. They're not gonna make it. It don't miss. I'm not getting pregnant. I took every precaution. Mind you, at this point, I'm like 19 years old. When I got my first IUD, I was 19. And I got the IUD specifically because I knew I did not want any accidents. They say don't get that birth control unless you've had children already because it's so effective. And I'm like, I had no kids yet. Go ahead and shoot and put it up there. You know what I'm saying? So I got it. And I'm not even going to go on the IUD spiel because I am not getting sponsored by them motherfuckers. No more free promotion. But that's not the point. The point is, I chose the most effective birth control I could find because I knew I didn't want to have no accidents. I've never had a pregnancy scare. I've never thought realistically that I was pregnant. I may have had my moments like, maybe, knowing damn well I'm not. It's just not something that I'm willing to risk. And a lot of these people out here, no shade if this is you. Hey, but listen, if the shoe fits, go ahead and slip it on. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Having children, not planning them. And I think some people resent that. I've seen so many posts with people who say they wish they did not have kids, but they had an accident or they had a whoopsie and now they have a child. depending on, your belief system, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, or whether you have the resources to even be pro-choice, we ain't gonna talk about that. But the point is, not everybody chooses to terminate their pregnancies or can in that way. So they have a child, and I think there's a lot of resentment, and I think there's a lot of not knowing how to be a parent. Like, you had these kids, you didn't want to have these children. You had no business having these children. You may not even have had the right, lifestyle or financial backing to have these children, but you had them anyway. And I don't blame anybody for having kids, but I do blame people for not taking proper precautions. But I understand the caveats of birth control. I understand the caveats of sex and being with people and anything that could happen. You never know what can happen and how children are brought into the world. But I feel like at the very least for me, I was like, I grew up in a broken home. I grew up around a bunch of other little accidents, and I didn't want to have an accident. So I made sure that I didn't. So when I do have these kids, they will be planned. They will be planned, and they will be wanted, and they're going to know that. And I think, obviously that stems a lot from, my childhood trauma, but it was the best decision I could have made. Because like I said, I was this close to having a knucklehead's children, and I'm so grateful that I didn't. But the people out there who, you see deadbeat mama, deadbeat daddy in whatever, capacity, or you might even see people, they're not even deadbeats. They might even take great care of their children. They might be great parents, but they never actually wanted to be a parent. And that's why I feel like family planning is just so important. So the people who, specifically the women who were choosing to be childless by choice, I commend you. In today's society, baby, my God, today, they will not let a woman who does not want kids live. If she doesn't want kids, there has to be something wrong with her, right? Meanwhile, if she has too many kids, something wrong with her. If she has kids by multiple people, something wrong with her. Like, we can't even win. I understand why women don't want to have these kids. These kids come with a lot of things outside of being a mother. Now you got to deal with somebody else forever. Now you have to deal with the stigma of pregnancy in the workplace, the stigma of having multiple children in a specific time frame. You have them too fast. You're not being responsible enough. You have them too late. Now you're waiting too long. You're being selfish. Like, we can't win. A big part of why I got out of the Navy was because, or I made that decision, was because I wanted kids. I made a lot of decisions in my life based on when I wanted to have my kids and how I wanted to raise my kids. I knew I did not want to be in the military and have to have those obligations and make those sacrifices and also be a mother. And shout out to all the military moms out there who do it. Shout out to you, mama. But I knew for me, that's not what I wanted. I also knew, okay, well, if I get out, there's a certain time frame I can't have kids. Because employers, and this is illegal to do, right? But we know they do it anyway, discriminate against women who are pregnant or who are trying to get pregnant. Or if you get a job and then you subsequently become pregnant within a year or two, now they're on your ass. It sucks. And men don't ever have to think about that type of thing. Like, here I am, I'm 24 and I'm really thinking about how I'm going to have these kids. When am I going to have my babies? Can't wait till I'm too late because then the bitch is going to be scrambled. Can't have them too soon because then, I'm not going to be ready. Men, I feel like, don't have to think about this ever. Men don't have to think about whether or not they're going to leave their job in pursuit of a family. Men don't have to think about, career ambitions versus family aspirations. And I feel like that's the most fucked up part about it because it's supposed to be a team effort. Ideally, it's supposed to be us. We're supposed to be in it together. But I feel like women, we take on the bulk of the responsibility, be it rearing the child, be it, even the early stages, babies can't live without their mom. You know, they need you physically. You are just a walking milk machine. Like, you're walking sustenance, and that's it for that child. And meanwhile, the child's father really can just, life goes on for them. Life goes on. And that's not to say that men don't have so many things that come with having a child. I get it. I'm just saying that the overall life-changingness of it, it's a little bit heavier for us. And so that's why we have to think shit through. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm not having kids until after I turn 30. But not too late, though. Like, I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be with somebody that I love, but projecting into the future, which I'm not giving up on love. Of course not. You know, that's my niche now. I'm just saying that I'm preparing myself for a future that involves me having a child later in the game, that involves me having a child, not necessarily with my husband. It could be with a partner. It could be with someone who also wants a child. I'm opening myself up to the non-conventional ways of bringing my child into the world knowingly and willingly. The last thing I really want to touch on is my fear of childbirth and labor. I'm afraid of giving birth here because I know as a Black woman, the mortality rates for us are so much higher. Seeing Aftershock scarred me. And watching the videos, I just watched a video by Julesy, and she had her baby at 38, and how she's detailing her experience. And it sounded horrific. It didn't sound beautiful and fun. It wasn't giving, you know, Summer Walker, Erykah Badula, we got candles and incense burning in the back, and we got the water birth, and I'm at home and I'm comfortable. No, it was giving, this sucks. None of these medical professionals listen to me. None of these medical professionals know what they're even doing. And my life is in the hands of idiots. That's what it sounds like to me. And that's why I'm like, okay, the longer I wait, the more my risk goes up. And it's a double-edged sword because I hope that in my 30s, I'm in a position where I have the access and the means to have my baby the way I want to. I don't think people talk about that enough. When you don't have money, when you don't have health insurance, when you don't have access, you don't necessarily get to have your child the way you want to. You have your child the way the doctors say you should. You have your child where you can and how you can. And you got to think, in other countries like South Korea, places where they have low birth rates, they take care of mothers. They take care of you. And the insurance isn't as much. It doesn't cost as much to have a baby. I think there was somewhere where I saw that like a month after the baby, you stay like in a birthing place for mothers. After you have your baby, they help you take care of your baby. They take care of you. They feed you 3 meals a day. Like, they take care. Here, child, I was telling Jay, I was like, girl, they don't even want to give us a Jello. Like, they don't even want to give us no Jello. They don't want to give us no water. They don't even want to give a bitch a pillow. They don't want to give us nothing. Like, and you expect me to trust y'all? So on top of y'all not giving a fuck about mothers, y'all also don't give a fuck about Black mothers. So you really think I'm going to come have my baby in your hospital? I want to have my baby at home. I want to have a water birth because I heard it's just so much better and it seems fun. You know what I'm saying? I want to have my baby in a space where I can create the atmosphere and the energy that I want my child to be welcomed into. I don't want strange hands on me. I don't want random attendings or random nurses coming into my room, don't know shit about me, don't know who I am. I want people around me who have been there on the journey with me to help me. Another thing that Josie talked about was her doula. She was like, yeah, or was it her doula? I think it was her doula. She had 2 different doulas. Both of them, or one of them she didn't really like. And I'm like, yo, I want a doula, I want a midwife, and I want my man, and I want, or the child's father, and I want chicken wings on standby. I want incense and candles and mood lights and soft music playing in the background. Like, I want to curate an environment that brings me the least amount of stress in this very stressful time. My body's already going to be going through it. I don't want to have to deal with doctors pushing me to make decisions I don't want to make, or having to get medicated in ways that I don't want to. Mind you, she also said birth was pure agony, and I get it. I know it's going to hurt. I know it's going to be the worst pain I'm going to experience in life, hopefully. But she said it was pure agony, and she didn't even have to go through all that. I feel like they made it worse for my girl. And like I said, she counted as a geriatric pregnancy because she was so old. I mean, hey, shout out to my girl. She's not that old, but I'm just saying, like, you up there when it comes to having these kids. I don't want to be one of those moms who has a horror story about how things almost went left when I gave birth to my children. I want to be in a space where I can have my kids safely and the way I want to. Because I feel like that's my right. I have every right to bring my kids into the world the way that I want to. So yeah, shout out to all the mamas out there. Shout out to all the mothers. My God, today. Especially the moms who waited to have kids, the moms who fought to have children and, you know, their bodies weren't up for it, so you chose a different route. Shout out to you. Because I know that shit is hard. I know it's really hard when you want it, when you really want them, and you can't. And that's something that I worry about too. Like, you know, I'm waiting, but what if I get to that point and I can't have them? Like, what if I get to that point and I can't carry my babies? That shit sounds... It doesn't sound fun. But then again, this is the childish in me though. Then again, you mean to tell me I ain't got to push nothing out and I get to keep my body how I want it? Hey, that don't sound too bad, but no, I get it. You know, I feel like that feeling, that little butterfly gas feeling they be talking about, I want to feel that too. So fingers crossed, whenever I pop out these little gremlins, it happens the way I want it to. It happens the way I want it to, the way I need it to, and in the right timing. You know, I'm not cutting off having kids in my 20s. I'm just saying, you know, if I don't get married before I turn 30, then obviously, you know, we're going to have kids in 30s, but I think 30s will be my like, okay, I'm going to have these kids with or without you. And my kids will be loved. And we will have a village. There will be a village for mine. And curating that early is important. So, yeah. My golly, I didn't expect to go so much on a rant with that, but I don't know. I guess I'm passionate about motherhood. I'm just kidding. I'm passionate about doing things that I think make me happy. And I know that having a family is going to make me happy. I say, you know, I could possibly be the fine rich auntie, but I know I won't ever feel fulfilled if I don't have children. I know that, you know, being the auntie is fun. It's fun. No obligations, no real responsibilities like that. However, for me, if I don't have kids ever, I feel like there would be a void in my heart. And so I might joke around and be like, maybe I'll never have kids. Or, you know, maybe, no, I actually don't mean it. If you hear me say that, I'm lying. I'm lying. Also, if you see me pregnant, 100% planned. I planned it, okay? And I trapped him. I really did tell that man, I said, if I get pregnant, it was 100% planned. I knew about it and I trapped you. Get over it. I did it. I'm a fucking clown. All right. I think that's all for today. Once again, shout out to the mamas. Shout out to everybody who made it to this point in the episode and who have been watching. Oh my gosh, we've been getting so much love on the Instagram. Go follow on Instagram, okay? I'm telling you, we are going up over there. Go follow on the Instagram, and the TikTok will be linked, okay? Go follow on there as well. Shout out to all of my little followers on YouTube. Not my little followers. Every last one of you, I appreciate. Because YouTube is really hard to break into for me, and I'm not as consistent on here, so I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys subscribing, and you know, I really fuck with y'all for real. I will get y'all something from the gas station. All right then. Until next time, I'ma fuck with you.